Let's go back to a time when the world was frozen over, when saber-toothed tigers and mammoths roamed the lands, a time before agriculture, where humanity lived nomadically. Every day was a harsh battle for survival, and one could only afford to focus on the well-being of themselves and their immediate allies. Everything on the outside had to be deemed a threat for the good of the local community. Thus, humanity's illusion of the binary was born. The binary was created because of the need to explain things quickly, without thought or deliberation, to understand a situation before a possible attack from an enemy. For the sake of our survival, binary concepts such as us versus them and good versus bad were fabricated. Poisonous mushrooms, dire wolves, and earthquakes were labeled bad, whereas warmth, food, and the sun were labeled good. Yet, those things have always existed outside of our perception of them, something humanity's never been all too good at recognizing. Dire wolves and mushrooms that are poisonous to humans serve specific purposes in their ecosystems, regardless of our judgments of them. Earthquakes are but a hiccup on an insignificant planet floating around in an incomprehensibly large universe. Our perception is to the universe what bacterium are to us. The binary exists only within our world of perception. Look to your right and take notice of the first thing you see. Study it, come up with words that describe it. Maybe you came up with a few adjectives, maybe even a noun or two. Yet, is that thing truly any of the words that came to your mind? Somewhere along the way, the boxes and categories we created became not only a necessity for survival, but an extension of our desire to understand what exists beyond our understanding. What exists is content to exist as it is. We're the ones that label what we see with our own meanings and judgments. We say things are or aren't. We thrust definitions upon them. We categorize the universe to the whims of our preconceptions, all because it's easier. It takes less effort to see things through the binary filter of preconception than to truly attempt to understand them. To see things not only in relation to ourselves and our conditioning, but in relation to themselves and the universe. We humans happen to possess, more than most creatures, knowledge of the many powers immanent to this world. But does not that knowledge itself sometimes render us blind? Be not enamored solely with the wondrous marvels, but look closely at the truth that is before your eyes. Believing fully in the single lens of our preconception is limiting. The colors we can't comprehend, the sensations we can never experience, the countless concepts and facets of reality that exist beyond our understanding. We're surrounded by them. We're but a speck within all that limitlessness. Yet we have the audacity to think that our insignificant preconceptions are universal truth. Once we begin to notice our preconceptions, we can question why we have them in the first place. Are they reactions to trauma we've endured in the past? Ways in which we've been conditioned by watching our families, friends, teachers, or lovers? Attempts to fit into society and avoid loneliness? Our confidence in our knowledge of the way of the world is itself a limitation. The world doesn't extend in merely 2 dimensions. There exist profound depths within itself. The world could never be summarized by materialism or any single doctrine. Accept the great mysteries and explore the entire universe from within your world. To begin seeing beyond the binary, we must look beyond our preconceptions, our personal doctrines, the ways in which we've decided the world works, born from years of experience. The preconceptions we hold when facing the world are reflections of ourselves, not our surroundings. They're judgments built on past experiences that reflect just that, the past. If we take our time, take a deep breath, notice the preconceptions that jump up, and question them, we can get one step closer to truly seeing. It's all too easy to get caught up in a single familiar aspect of something and believe we understand it in its entirety. But nothing nothing is truly the same as anything else. The world isn't so simple. If we get too caught up in our judgments of what lies before our eyes, we'll no longer be looking at that thing itself, but a reflection of ourselves. Preoccupied with a single leaf, you won't see the tree. Preoccupied with a single tree, you'll miss the entire forest. Don't be preoccupied with a single spot. See everything in its entirety, effortlessly. That is what it means to truly see. We must understand that everyone has their own collection of preconceptions, and that no one's existence is any more or less complex than anyone else's. Beneath the vastness of these starry heavens, you and I, both, are insignificant. When it comes to abandoning the binary, gender is an important topic of discussion. Gender exists only within our world of perception. One can say that sex exists, but even that is merely a word we use to describe something more complex than our comprehension. How do we define sex? Primary sex characteristics? There are plenty of intersex people that don't lie within that binary. Chromosomes? There are plenty of people out there with XY chromosomes that live their entire lives as cis women without ever knowing, and vice versa. Hormone levels? Everyone produces both testosterone and estrogen. When we say that gender is binary, like everything else, it is the result of being conditioned to categorize what we see in an attempt to understand what's beyond our understanding. The gender binary is deeply integrated into our lives, everywhere from gender reveal parties, to government forms, to gender roles. Again, to truly see beyond the limitations of our preconceptions, we must understand that everyone has a unique but limited perception. Those that experience being gender non-binary are as understanding of their own existence as you and I are of ours. To deny that is to live shackled by self-imposed limitations. So I ask of you all, please, question everything you've ever known. Take nothing for granted. Never accept that's just how it is as an explanation, and understand that we're all muddling along on a path with no easy answers. No matter how much we might crave the comfortable simplicity of the binary, nothing can be so simple unless we strip it of its glorious complexity. This has been Evan. Thank you for watching. So I have a Patreon. For just as little as $1 a month, you can get things like, or for the different tiers, you can get things like getting shout outs or getting early access to scripts or early access to videos, all that fun stuff. Also, when I have 3 patrons, I will be creating a private Discord server that you can be in for as little as $1 a month, where we can talk about my future content or your favorite stories or philosophy or life or how your day is going or really anything at all. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and bye.